Hello, everyone. Welcome. My name is Kristen Kalina. I'm the founder of Mastermind Adventures, and I'm super excited to be here tonight with some of my favorite professors from Eaglesclaw American School of Magic. These folks have worked with us, some of them for many years, going all the way back to the beginning in 2015. But each of them has brought something unique and special to Eaglesclaw, and I can't wait for them to share with you about their experience with Eaglesclaw and also about what classes they're going to be running in our virtual event on April 16th. So here they are. Here they come. Yay! I'm so excited just to hang out with you guys tonight. Like, we did this like as an excuse, but like like we should just be doing this. Like, we should just have,
I agree.
Yeah, witch hats and cocktails or something. I don't know.
Yes, please.
So first, if we could just go around, I'm going to have everybody just introduce themselves. And I think first we're just going to have you guys just say a little bit about your first year at Eaglesclaw, which one was the first one that you attended? And that's what we are going to do for our first question. So starting with Cathy, go for it.
Okay, I was trying to remember. I know that the first year that I participated.
Introduce yourself first.
Oh, I'm sorry. I am Cathy. I'm Professor Delia Wisby, and I was cousin to Sybil Trelawney. And my first year, I believe, I just helped out just with whatever needed to be done. And I think I sold a lot of butterbeer. But the next time that I participated, it was with dance, and it was with we taught the witches dance. It was just a lot of fun. But dance was my thing.
Awesome. All right. Next is Melissa. Introduce yourself and tell us about your first experience with Eaglesclaw.
Sure. My name's Melissa. I am in Eaglesclaw. I am Professor Eliza Chatwin. I was also trying to remember when my first year was, and I honestly don't remember what the year was. But the first year I actually did a different class than I'm doing now. I did like it was drawing spells and doing sigils and paper spells and things like that. And then the last time, and I actually started as a different character. I think I was Loca Laufrey first, then switched to Eliza Chatwin. And as Eliza, I teach hand casting. I talk to the kids about if you don't have a wand, what do you do then? Because sometimes that happens. And so I offer an alternative of doing spells with hand casting, or tutting is what it's called. And so this year, that's what I'll be doing with them.
Awesome. And next on my screen is Katya. Tell us about yourself, please.
Hello. So nice to see you all again. My name is Katya, and at Eaglesclaw, I play Professor Isadora Unicornis, the frog choir conductor and instructor of voice casting. And so in my class, we learn how to use the voice. This year, in the past, I've always focused on singing. This year, we're actually going to focus on how to change our voice. And so that might be suddenly taking on a British accent, or, changing your voice to disguise yourself to the muggles around you. So that is what we will be teaching this year. In the past, I have played this character now, I guess, for 3 years, but my first year at Eaglesclaw, I played the ghost of Gretchen Grizzleheart, and Grizzleheart forever. Go green and silver. So I'm so happy that I finally get to be alive and teaching the students. Because being dead is kind of boring, and I showed up with my makeup bag and just painted a bunch of people silver, thinking like, oh, you need an interpret, like an actual ghost, and that was a lot of silver on a lot of people.
It's a lot of work.
So
That was a lot of work. Yeah, for
well, I'm
sure.
glad that we've decided to not do actual ghosts anymore.
Yeah, I repurposed you guys definitely into other roles for
I
sure.
love it.
Amanda, you are last but not least, my dear.
Hi, I'm Amanda. I, at Eaglesclaw, am Evangeline Wagtail, and I have taught in the past potions and other science-related classes. This year, I'll be teaching herbology, and I'm very excited to go down a slightly different route with the kids this year. I am already like getting my plants ready, and these plants behind me have nothing to do with Eaglesclaw. I have used it as an excuse to purchase another one.
Outstanding. Very, very good. So yeah, I actually have, well, you guys talked a little bit about your classes, but I actually have some little videos that we can show people about what past Eaglesclaws were like. So yeah, maybe let's do just a quick introduction of what you taught in the past, and then I will play your respective videos. So let's see. I'm still getting used to this this platform here, but all right. So Cathy, why don't you talk about what you taught in the past, and I'll play your little video to show people what it was about.
Well, we had a dance with the prefix, and it was so much fun. And we danced to a Dark Lord funk, and the kids were just wonderful in terms of, I'm sure some of them really didn't want to get up there at first, but boy, they pulled together, and I think it was just a great act. That was I keep thinking, was it 2018? I can't remember the last time we did it, but that was one of the dances. And then the other one was something called the Witches Dance. And the Witches Dance is actually done all over the world. I mean, you can look it up on YouTube. And the kids did a great job. I had one young man, I believe his name was Ben, and he just really, really wanted to be in the class, and he just really got into it. And at the end of that dance, they were able to kind of freestyle and do what they wanted. And I can remember at that time, I think it was the floss was really popular, and that's how he ended his. But just a lot of energy, and they just seemed to really love it. So, and I did too.
Awesome. So here is your little trip down memory lane video. Here it comes. There it was. So much fun. Yeah, definitely great times. And your character at Eaglesclaw. So you said that she's someone's cousin. That was the backstory for your.
Yes, the backstory for me. I'm Sybil Trelawney's.
Trelawney.
Yeah, and I think we had some story that we were in camp together in Arizona, because that is such a special place in Sedona. And I can't remember the entire story, but the other thing that was so cool is we had trading cards at one point. So I was looking for my trading cards so I could remember the story. But that was great.
Yeah, great fun. All right, Melissa, talk a little bit about your hand casting and your character and what that was like, and we'll play your video.
Sure. Hand casting came up, actually stole it from another magic show called The Magicians, where they don't have wands. They all do hand movements, and you can actually look it up. Tutting is kind of a freestyle dance with your hands. So you can even look that up and just see music tutting. But it's also based on the mudra, which in other spiritual cultures, you know, when you meditate, this or the you see in Indian and things, they all have meaning, all of these, and they're associated with different things. So it's based on all of that, and I actually want to explore that a little more this time, because it is so multicultural. And then the idea in the class was basically traditionally magic is done with wands, and that's what everyone learns, and that's what's learned at Eaglesclaw traditionally. But Eliza has a connection with an English school, and it's a higher education school that brings in hand casting magic. And so she wanted to bring that sort of down into the lower grades of schools, because she believes that sometimes you can be disarmed with your wand, and then you're left with no magical defenses or magical weapons or magical use. And so she or I want to give the kids a different aspect to work with. I was actually kind of surprised and delightfully how much they embraced that. They took it super seriously, that, yeah, I lost my wand, Expelliarmus, and now I don't have it anymore. And now what do I do? And there was a lot of challenge, actually, to sometimes go, well, what if I wanted to, and they would give me something new that I kind of hadn't planned for. So it was like creating something on the fly, or helping them say, well, here's some different hand positions. How could you put them together to create your own hand casting spell? And I think the most fun for me about that was the rest of the day, when the sort of classes were over and kids were just, you know, doing their own thing, or they're doing some of the other activities or whatever. I would see them like doing hand casting in the corner, or doing duels between wands and hand casting and stuff. And it was awesome. I was like, wow, or running up to me and going, what was the one for the shield? Because we want to do a thing, or how do I reveal magic if I can't see it and stuff. It was fun. It was really fun to see how much they just embraced that and you know, the whole thing, and put their whole heart into it. And actually really it was a thing for them. And so they could either wand or they could hand cast, and they genuinely seemed to appreciate an alternate skill, which, you know, as much as I know they get invested in it, still kind of surprised me and made it even more fun for me. So I kind of want to go farther with that this year and give them an opportunity to actually create their own hand cast spells. Like, that would be a huge part of what it is, to just learn what some of the symbols are and what some of the positions are, and then give them an opportunity all to create some of their own.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, well, here is Melissa in action. I don't know.
I'd forgotten actually about the demonstration thing, which was really fun. Again, you don't think they're going to want to get up in front and have to sort of do a performance thing, but they did, it was a lot of engagement and just a lot of commitment to just sort of throwing themselves into it and seeing what they could make of it. It was fun, and it made it fun for me.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I thought that was so much. It was such a different class than a lot of what that we had done before, and the kids got just so into it, and it was beautiful to photograph. It was really
And I was nervous. I really was, because I knew it was different, and it was sort of a risk there. And so I was like, oh, we'll see what happens, and was really pleasantly surprised that I would have kids after the class running up to me asking me for other ideas or reminders of how to do things, or saying, watch this, when they'd have a little, interaction. And it was fun. It was fun.
Oh, I love it. It's my favorite. Yeah. All right, Katya, you are next. So talk a little bit about your class and how it was in the past. You can talk to, after the video, you can talk a little bit more maybe about your new disguise class that you're going to do.
Sure. Yeah. So in the past, I have taught the frog choir, and we normally hand out and assign frogs to all of our students. We take some time to name our frogs. Sadly, I actually don't have my frog here with me today. I simply have my raven. So, I mean, he'll have to do. This is Ronaldo. I do love Ronaldo. He's very sweet. He's not much of a singer, so we're just going to put him away. But we'll take some time to talk to our frogs, and then we sing. And so in the past, we have rewritten some of the lyrics to "Can't Stop the Feeling" by Justin Timberlake, Sir Justin Timberlake, to be more Eaglesclaw friendly. And so we have performed that. The kids have really enjoyed it. And, this year we're going to be harnessing the power of our voices. So I'll show that after the video.
All right. Yeah, it is hard to sing on Zoom, I'll tell you.
Yeah, definitely.
It was not just singing, but dancing too. You got your boogie on in there.
Yeah, we did. I was really like, pump up the energy, guys.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get a little sluggish after lunchtime, but that's why Cathy with her dance troupe was always so exciting to watch, because they really brought the boogie. But this year, so we're going to be learning how to change our voices and take on different personas based on what we have around us. Just as a quick little demonstration here, I happen to have, oh, well, look at this. This is a nice little cap right here, and I just feel like taking on a different personality altogether. And so we're going to personally change our looks, change our voices, and we're going to learn how to disguise ourselves for the Muggle world, because none of us want to be found out, if you know what I mean. That's just a little demonstration of what I'm going to be doing in my class. I don't have life anymore.
Outstanding. Very, very fun. All right. Well, Amanda, you were our spectacular potions teacher. You want to talk a little bit about your past classes and what they were like, and then you can share a little more about your plans for this year.
Yeah. Thank you. So 1 year we talked about all of the things we might need to prepare to have on hand for potions. We dissected owl pellets to have exposure to bones. And I brought in all different books about how to collect things from the wild, how to identify different rocks and minerals, and how to store those in our homes. And that was fun. And last year we did a little bit more active potions chemistry, and everyone had their own potions kits and got to make all these different wonderful reactions take place. And somehow I got to a fire inside, which was incredible to me and the children. So everyone who was in my potions class was really keen on staying engaged the entire time, because we got to be actual fire tenders inside a building. And I think that's a pretty cool reaction to have.
Should we show your video now?
Yeah. Thanks.
Okay. That one cuts off very abruptly. Sorry about that. Oh, my editing skills. Anyways, yeah, that was a lot of fun. So this year you are going to be doing more herbology, plant, fun stuff.
Yeah. Still with somewhat of a potions mind. So we'll be talking a little bit about foraging and plant propagation, a little bit about how to potentially save all of the house plants that maybe our adults may have collected and half killed while staying at home the last 2 years, and what can be made from weeds, plants in our area. And keeping in mind that we all live in different environments. So some kids, even right in the city, will still be able to find the plants that we're talking about. So
awesome. That sounds amazing. And Kevin Quackenbush could not be with us, but he plays a fantastic professor called Futhark the Elder. And he started with us all the way back in 2015, the very, very first Eaglesclaw event. And his expertise was in archaeology. And so how we translated that into the school's curriculum was in ancient runes. And so he always has some kind of side quest happening that the kids get really, really into, and they get to learn about symbols, symbology. He always has them translating things. I know he's had rock-based scavenger hunts all around the school. Kids would be running up to me because I always play the headmistress. And saying, "Oh, have you seen this kind of rock?" And I'm like, I didn't even know there was a scavenger hunt happening. Like, this is great, but like, I have no idea. I can't help you. You're on your own, bud. So I did do a little video for his as well. And this is Futhark the Elder's Ancient Runes class. another abrupt ending. But it was a fun video. So that is just an introduction to some of our amazing professors, some of the amazing classes that they've done in the past, and how what they're planning on having for this year. So I just thought we could go around and just have some chat about what Eaglesclaw has been like, because I do think that it's been hard for people that haven't been to Eaglesclaw before to kind of visualize what that experience was like, and even how we're bringing it online, which we'll talk about a little bit more in the past. But for those of us that have participated, even as an adult, from my perspective, it's always been sort of a transformative experience. Every single year with the kids. It's had an impact on me, like as an adult. We don't have a lot of opportunities where we can experience something truly magical in our own lives. That's something that, I think obviously when your kids are little and you get to kind of do like Christmas morning and stuff like that, or trips to Disneyland, but there's not a lot of opportunities for experiences that really feel unique and special, I think, in that way. And Eaglesclaw, beyond that, I think like what Melissa was talking about, what the kids themselves bring to it is something altogether different. So if you haven't been to Eaglesclaw before, it was always a live action role play experience. And what we're trying to do is bring a kind of a live action role play experience online. So my first question for you guys, and it can be any order, we don't have to go around in a circle. Not everybody has to answer every question. But what was that experience like for you as an adult participating in? How was that coming into it?
I can go.
Sure.
Or Cathy, go ahead. No, you want me to jump? I could talk for a very long time about Eaglesclaw. Part of it is because that was our first real event with you guys. We had met you guys, not too long before that, at a very critical time for our own kid, and this was a great chance. In a nutshell, for everybody, it's this amazing time and opportunity to just have permission to delve into childhood, no matter how old you are. That magic of imagination, and the fact that magic is alive and well, no matter how old you are. It literally is this sort of, even though I started in theater, I understand what theater is, that, there's the real world and you step on the stage and it's make believe. But the whole point of theater is it is a transformative time. It is time out of time. And the difference here is that there's no audience. Everybody is in this moment out of time. And so stepping in to this was literally stepping into another world, even for me. And I question sometimes who was having more fun, or who was having more impact on, because it was even sometimes emotional, and that you just saw this rush and this beautiful time of kids and adults alike just throwing themselves into make-believe and throwing themselves into a world that they wanted to make real. And that commitment of everyone doing that, including the kids attending, they really do get invested in, whether it's competing or learning or creating or just running around and pretending that's where you are. There was so much investment that it does become real for the hours that you're there. And that can't not have an impact on you. And so you could see it in everyone, the joy of coming in and the sort of sadness when it was over. And yet at the same time, leaving with an energy that you didn't have when you walked in the door. It's very hard to put into words, and it's incredibly powerful. I think, and a testament certainly to what Mastermind was able to create, in providing, like, you guys create this environment that gives everyone else permission to not be afraid or embarrassed or tentative or whatever. It's just this everybody goes, and it's like the best kind of mob mentality, that the commitment just becomes everyone. And
Yeah.
you carry that with you afterwards. You know, you go home and you kind of fly on that for a while. And I have never, other than theater, but that's only where the actors get to have that. The audience might feel it while they're there, but I don't think it necessarily always stays as long as it does for the actors. Everybody gets that with this. And I've never seen that anywhere. I've never had that experience anywhere else. And I can testify that, you know, Lex too. It's incredibly impactful. The camaraderie, the friendships, and like I said, even the professors, the adults they're all in. Nobody's just sort of half there. Everybody's all there. And yeah, I've never experienced anything like that. And that's why every year I'm very psyched when you're like, oh, is Eaglesclaw happening? Yay. Because, you know, I don't know who's more excited, you know, if it's me or the kids, you know. So
Melissa,
I'm grateful for it.
I always liken it to, and this is going to be like, for the younger viewers, you might not get this reference, but Hook. Have you ever seen the movie Hook with Robin Williams? When all of the Lost Boys are sitting around the table and all of a sudden Robin Williams picks up a spoonful and like flings it at somebody and he gets in the game. And it's like all of the imaginary items are suddenly coming to life. And the kids are like, you're doing it, Peter. And that's what I feel like when I walk into Eaglesclaw. It's like everybody is suddenly in this place of allowing yourself to imagine what could be possible, what the world of Eaglesclaw is, and what if magic were real. And it's just special. It's just really beautiful and special. And I think the other thing that's really important about this experience is the fact that there are lots of people who are not going to be able to go to a place like Disney World or Universal and be able to go see, you know, the Harry Potter experience. They're not going to get that in their lives. It's very rare that you can walk into an environment and be completely immersed in a world. And that's what we provide to people. We're able to bring this to the masses that might not otherwise have been able to have that chance.
I agree. And you can see that in the kids. You can see how I've never, ever seen a kid that looked bored or like they want to leave, or it's always like, oh no, is it over? There's like this panic of like, I'm not done, you know, and they're in costume and they have their I mean, it really is, like I said, an all-in thing that is just, it's not an experience. That's even different than Disney. People might come with their stuff but that's not the same. This is like, you're there, you know, and that's very different, you know.
Totally.
I came to Eaglesclaw terrified and nervous, and Kristen was like, no, you're going to be fine. And I didn't feel like I was going to be fine, because I felt like I was going to be way too embarrassed and way too shy to be in character all day long. And I was like, you don't understand. I didn't do theater. I don't do this kind of stuff. I only hang out in the woods all the time. Like, your costume, you'll be okay. The kids will take care of it. And that was absolutely what happened. Like, I got there and I instantly felt comfortable and excited. And there were all these like little wizards running around. And instantly I was like, all right, well, I guess I'm a professor now. And everything changed. So I think for me, it was almost a little exciting because that magic happened like so realistically, because I didn't know if I belonged there, and I was helping make the event possible 1 or 2 of those years. So I'm really excited to see what happens next.
Yeah, me too.
I just wanted to say that what impressed me the most was the kids being kind to each other. I think we were giving out some kind of reward. I can't remember if it was a coin or something that they were gathering. If the professors noticed that someone was being kind to someone else, we were able to give them some token. I can't remember what it was, but
it was like a ticket
or something that they were collecting. And it fostered so much kindness. I was so impressed that they were going out of their way. Of course, there was a reward, but they didn't know if we were going to notice or not, but they went out of their way to be kind to each other. And not all those kids went there with a friend. Some of them just went on their own, but they made friends. And it was, you folks are talking about it, and my body's over here tingling with the excitement to remember how magical it really is. And I believe that the kids learn to work together. They don't always necessarily know each other, but to respect each other and to collaborate. I'm looking forward to see what happens when we do this again.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, definitely. Me too. It is a really, really unique experience. Do you guys have a favorite memory from any of the events? Anything special that happened while you were there?
I can remember last year with the hand casting, there was one boy. He was not teen, but he was an older, and there was a little bit of a cool factor that sort of made him hesitate at first. Sort of, he clearly wanted to be there. He signed up for the class, but there was a laid backness, and I'm just going to sort of I'm cool, and so I wasn't actually sure I was engaging him, and I wasn't actually sure that he was super impressed with what we were doing or what the class was. But he was one of the ones afterwards, when everybody was just sort of running around or whatever, that came up to me specifically to show me one that he created based on some of the hand things that we did and some of the other things that I showed him. And then how he had a whole story that, me and so went to look up up the stairs, and we did the reveal, and we saw that there was magic, and he had an entire thing that he had created. And I had no idea that he was even paying that much attention when he was in the class. And that was sort of a moment that I realized that, all of them really are, whether they are outwardly showing that they're into being there, are super into being there, and are getting something out of it for themselves on whatever level it is. So you can't always tell by just looking at them whether that's happening or not. But it obviously touched me because I remember it all years later, but it was very cool just to see him go. It was proof that he was like super into it, whether what he was or not, it was fun.
Yeah. Having permission, right? They get permission to be kids.
Absolutely. To sort of let guards down, and that there's sort of the whatever sort of pockets or little holes that they're put in the real world, in the outside world, go away, and you see them all just sort of become who they want to be, or who they could be, or or who they are, and like I said, I think we see that then, at least for me. I think it's the same thing Amanda was saying. It actually made me feel more comfortable to just let go and not feel foolish, or not feel nervous, or not feel uncertain, to just go, because the more you do, then the more they do, and each one feeds into the other, and that's what ends up creating this world. Special.
Love it.
So I actually, one of my favorite memories was talking about how kids are so sweet and generous at this camp. I remember one year being a professor, I don't get to enjoy all of the other classes. And so one of the classes was making Felicis. I forget exactly the name of the potion, but it's the luck potion. From Harry Potter. And so it was this tiny little bottle that had a little bit of gold, glitter in it, and it was an ornament. And I saw it and I was like, oh, that is so cool. I wish that I had some of that. I need some luck. And by the end of the day, I had a student who had come up to me and who gave me her bottle of luck, because she wanted me to have it, and I still have that, and it hangs on my Christmas tree every year because it brings me so much joy thinking back to Eaglesclaw and that special little kid. So
Oh, I love that. What a great
That's
story.
awesome. Yeah.
yeah.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah. One of the things that I remember that surprised me was the very, very first Eaglesclaw, and I referenced this in the first our first group video with the kids that had participated. But the kids had we had made nifflers, which were on sticks. They were like water bottles that we wrapped in like black felt, and they were cute, but they were clearly not professional. Not a professional niffler, not like what folks have now with the Fantastic Beast nifflers. They were sort of our own creation. It was long before Fantastic Beasts anyway. But they were on sticks, and we had like kind of this thing where we threw plastic coins in the yard, and the nifflers are attracted to coins. And the kids were going around with the nifflers, like using the niffler to look for coins. Okay, get it? Like using it. Like, is there any under this bush? And I thought, that's interesting. But that's how much they really got into it, there was really no there's no suspension of disbelief. No barrier to the suspension of disbelief. They're just totally in it.
Yep.
That led to other mischief later, but I already talked about that. It was some funny stuff. So what would you say is different about this event from other programs that you might have experienced?
I think the immersiveness is really, it's not, other things are, they're there to engage kids, or camps are there to here we're going to do crafts, or here we're going to do this, but this is a different level of engagement, I think, because it gives them agency to their own day and their own story and their own, there's a story there, and there's a thing that's happening, and there's a schedule and that kind of thing. But within that, there's an enormous amount of freedom for these kids to create their own experience within the umbrella experience. And I don't see that. And I think it's because, to be honest, I think it's because kids are just not given the trust. They're not trusted to be able to do that and handle it or manage it, or I don't know what it is, but they all have agency to create the experience that they want to have. And then that ends up snowballing, so that also creates different experiences for everybody else. It's one whole big moving machine, and everyone, even though they're the ones coming and are the equal of the audience, they're just as critical. You can't have it without them. If they don't engage and if they don't commit, you don't have Eaglesclaw. It doesn't exist. And to give them that opportunity, and you see them wholly embrace it. And I think that's part of what's important, that they go and they leave knowing, I made this, I was part of what made this happen. And what existed there was partly because of me. And I don't think they have the opportunity to do that in life and in activities and in things. They're told what to do, and they're told this is the rules, and this is where you go, and this is how you do it. And that's fine. That has a place, but this is an opportunity for them to, within a structured thing, there's an enormous amount of freedom for them. And I think that's what makes the difference in my mind, to see them to take that, and they take it seriously and in a fun way, but they take it and they do it and they run with it. There's no one ever going, I don't know how, or I don't want to, or I can't. I don't think I've ever heard a kid say, I can't, there. It's just, they just do, they're there and they do.
Right. One of the things that the kids last week talked about was their favorite memories. A lot of them had to do with the community, just having a bunch of other kids who were, got to share in the experience with them. And the relationships that were built between them, you know.
Yep.
So I think that has a lot to do with it. Like I said, just to being accepted, right? Like we're all here together. And I mean, that's why the tagline this year is "You belong here." Is that was really, I think that was the kind of the thread through all of the different years of Eaglesclaw, was just watching kids find their place, which was really, really important. So, so we've had a lot of curiosity and questions about how we're going to take this online. I do have a video that I am going to play. So tuck in because it's a little bit long. I tried to cut it down, but this is a very different experience. And, you know, the kids are not, even though this is an online kind of virtual experience, it's not like school. It's not like Zoom, you know, Zoom pandemic school. The kids are going to get to really engage, do some really fun, interesting types of classes. And then the D&D adventure. So we're using Strixhaven, a curriculum of chaos, which is a brand new Dungeons and Dragons module that takes place in a magical school. So initially we thought, well, we'll recreate, you know, Eaglesclaw at that school, but that's really a college atmosphere. So we did the opposite. We took the tenets of Strixhaven and we Eaglesclawed it up. So the kids get to have, you know, their Grizzleheart background or their Snowbeak background, and they get special abilities within Dungeons and Dragons based on their background and their character. They have alliances. They have some really, really fun stuff. And we have woven it into the same sort of a schedule structure as what we had done for the live action event. So you'll see sort of how that's going to pan out. This is more of a technical showcase of what this is going to be. And then when we're done with this, we'll come back and just have final thoughts. And so without further ado, this is my my video on the technical aspects of how we are chaining this all together to create a really unique and one-of-a-kind experience for your kids. So each child or participant coming to Eaglesclaw will get one of these schedules. And we're hoping that this is something that helps them just stay oriented. They can always come back here if they don't know where they're supposed to be next. It'll give them some sort of an idea of how to move around if they don't want to just go exploring. So first of all, we've created this world here at World Anvil. And this here is sort of an introductory page that has links to important information and things that the kids might explore on their day at Eaglesclaw. So this is just a really good kind of a launching pad for kids, and they can explore and kind of get more information about the world. And here is, it doesn't really have too much here yet. We're still filling this part out. But they can read the basic article on what Eaglesclaw is here, and go to, let's see, player handbook. Okay, so they can access the full welcome book by clicking here. And the welcome book is set up to give some basic information. A lot of this will also be in the wiki, but this is a very kind of handy place where they can explore and find more information about the background of the school, the background of the different founders of the school, sort of our moral values and the reasons why that people come to Eaglesclaw, and a lot more about the lore. They also have a link here for their sorting quiz, which will take them through a number of questions that they can answer to find out which house that they should be sorted into. The other parts here that may be useful, the World Atlas we're still building. There's a little bit of information here on the world and different things that are happening. There is a main map here And I'll just give you an idea. We have a color version of this that will be replaced, but this is sort of the map, and it shows just information about the different places around Eaglesclaw School. Now, Eaglesclaw is a magical school, but it is not tucked far, far away from all of human eyes. It is actually in the middle of the great city of New Bedford. So if you click here, this will tell people a little bit more about the old church, in which that it is. Here's all the different landmarks and more information about the different houses and locations that are there. And then they can also enter the building here. And so this is an interactive map. This is not going to be our final one, but you can at least get the idea of what they can do. The Great Hall here is a place where they might go for announcements or other things happening. You'll also see this linked here, the Great Hall. And we are using Discord to help people sort of get oriented and be able to speak to one another, whether it's in chat, a moderated chat, or in audio. Ooh, hello, bye-bye. But this will give you sort of an idea of how we are using this technology as a back end to allow people to talk to each other or to watch a scene that will be happening, and also to sort of hang out in their common rooms and chat. So once they are here in the castle, they can go explore different areas. They can find out maybe some secrets or some things that might be happening. They can go to classes, like this is the dance room. This is, I think one of these is Futhark the Elder, his Ancient Runes class. And we'll dig into that in a little bit as well. But they'll also use this to go, up and down between the levels of Eaglesclaw, and just kind of stay oriented. There's a similar mechanic outside the castle where they can go to different locations there as well. And this is, if they were heading out to, I have on the schedule that they've got charms with Professor Craftwick, so they could actually go directly to the classroom here using Google, using the link for the Google Classroom. Or they could actually go exploring and find themselves there as well. So here are a little loud. We're working on that. So you'll see that there's a little bit of sounds going on. We're going to turn those down so they're not quite so loud. But here is the magical crafting and charms class that they will be able to join and see. We have not filled this out yet, but you'll be able to see that they've got, they can do classwork in these and have conversations as they take their class. And we'll have another live stream with the professors next week. So that should give you sort of an idea. What else can I show you? They will have either 2 classes in the morning with a break in between, or they'll have 2 classes in the afternoon. And we are doing that so that the Dungeons and Dragons game, which is their exploration phase, it has enough time to complete. So I've just put in, for now, I've put in here that they're going to go investigate the greenhouse with the groundskeeper. So they'd be linked directly to whichever program it is that they are, where they're going to have their Dungeons and Dragons game. And you'll see this is a Roll20. This is another software that we use. So here, these are interactive maps where the students can zoom in or zoom out. They'll be able to move this is one of the tokens. They can move their piece around the board when they need to. They can also roll their dice using this app. So you'll see that just popped up over here. And I rolled a 17. So it's not too shabby. So that is everything that I have to show you right now. As we continue to develop this, we will show you even more and get some time with both the professors that you guys can watch, and we'll also have time with the dungeon masters, and you'll meet them and get to hear a little bit more about the lore and the adventures that they have planned. We can't wait to see you there. So that is hopefully a little bit more clear, that you're just not going to be in a Zoom room the whole entire time, just with the talking head. I mean, we're really making every effort to make this a really immersive and fun experience for the kids. It's kind of set up like an online LARP in a lot of ways, as much as we can. And I think that the technologies that we are able to chain together to use helps to create that immersion and that illusion that we wouldn't otherwise be able to provide for the kids. So that's a little bit more about what that experience will be like. And of course, we're still developing, but I'm really excited about it. And was that helpful for you guys? Because you guys haven't really seen that either. It's all up in my head. It's all in my head.
It's nice when everything from your head gets put onto a website. Yes,
it really
perfect.
is. Yeah, I find that very, very, very helpful. So our final question as we wrap up is that I just wanted to go around and just hear from everybody. If just a lightning round is, why should a kid come to Eaglesclaw?
Oh, gosh.
Try to be brief if you can.
Yeah. I don't think there's anything like it. Even I have played D&D, and this is just so much more. What an opportunity to strategize and be immersed in this magical community.
Awesome. Right,
yeah, because it's fun, because there really isn't anything else like this that I have ever seen. And there's no way to know really what it's like unless you go. You can hear us talk about it for forever, but unless you experience it, Disney's the most magical place on earth. I might argue that right now, because that really is one of the most magical experiences I've ever had. There's nothing like it.
Oh, thank you.
Because Eaglesclaw is awesome. We're awesome. You're clearly awesome. So you need to be with awesomeness. Be where you should belong, right? Isn't that the tagline, or what is it? We're
you
saying,
belong here.
You belong here because you're awesome too.
Amanda?
I was going to say because it was fun, and then Melissa took it. But
it's fun. It's fun. What more do you want?
Really
it's fun. It's fun.
It's
fun.
It's
Everybody
awesome.
needs some fun and some magic and some joy. So I don't know what more excuses you need, but
you get to play all day long.
There it is. Yep.
All day long.
Yep.
Well, I appreciate all of you so much. Thank you so much for taking time and doing this with me tonight. Thanks for sharing a little bit more about the magic you guys have in store for this year's Eaglesclaw event. And yeah, we definitely have to do this far more often, and probably with a little drink in hand. So
yeah, it's you guys. This has been fun.
After hours, Eaglesclaw,
I'm ready.
Yep.
Don't tell the kids. All right. Well, thanks so much, everybody. And we are signing off. Thanks for watching. Soda is good too. Soda is equally viable. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. And we hope to see you soon.
Bye, guys.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye-bye.